You have 1 minute, 45 seconds left on the fill in the blank. Great job, Shakeem. Great job, Arabia. Great job, Giovanni. Great job, Skyanne. Thank you, Leah, Caleb, Kamaya. 30 more seconds to finish up. Awesome job, everybody. Looks like we're doing great. Great, go ahead and finish up wherever you have. Great job today, you guys, in the fill in the blank. I'm gonna go ahead and read aloud since I don't think it'll show up on your guys' screen. I could be wrong, but okay. After revolutionary veterans were being unfairly taxed and were not being compensated for their work in the revolution, they took part in Shays' Rebellion. This exposed the weakness of the Articles of Confederation, like the federal government's inability to raise a standing army or tax its citizens. This led to the Constitutional Convention, where Federalists and Anti-Federalists debated over the relationship between individual rights and the Constitution. Notable Federalists include wealthy New Yorker John Jay and Revolution General George Washington. And Anti-Federalists include Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence. So far in this unit, we have discussed the causes of the American Revolution and the growing tension that bubbled over into war. Once the smoke had cleared, the framers took their first crack at a new government by creating the Articles of Confederation. Historians often cite Shays' Rebellion as a transition point that tipped the balance in an ongoing debate about the Articles of Confederation towards its critics. Criticism of the Articles of Confederation preceded the rebellion, but the rebellion is what raised the alarm and prompted delegates to meet about revising the Articles. And as we know, the meeting would ultimately result in the creation of the Constitution. But what's important to know is that Shays' Rebellion didn't move everyone to call for a new Constitution. Many Americans remained skeptical about this idea of a strong national power, fearing that they would create a tyrant, and just like the one they had escaped during the Revolution. So today we're going to analyze the responses to Shays' Rebellion and compare them. So let me see, who do we have? Skyanne, can you please unmute and read today's main inquiry for us?
How did colonial leaders respond to Shays' Rebellion? Why did their responses differ?
Beautiful. We are going to take 45 seconds in a collab board to brainstorm any outside evidence we would want to use with today's lesson. So if you were going to write an essay about colonial leaders and Shays' Rebellion, what outside evidence would you want to use in that essay? The collab board is now open. Let's go ahead and start brainstorming some outside evidence. All you need to do is include the key term. Okay, I see a few responses. Great, let's go ahead and take a moment to go through and heart each other's responses. Oops, sorry, I moved on too quickly. Great job. And that brainstorm, that is something we are going to be doing whenever we do any investigation of primary sources. So looking back at today's main inquiry before we go into the documents, how did colonial leaders respond to Shays' rebellion, and why did their responses differ? Looking at this question, we're going to think about the skills and the strategies we are going to take while annotating these documents. So how did colonial leaders respond to Shays' rebellion, and why did their responses differ? As we know, we need to write since statements for our documents. And we know that we write our since statements by using one of our four corners and trying to figure out how that helps us answer the main question and support our argument. Looking at this question, which corner do you think is going to be the most important corner for you to look at while you are annotating the document? Please go ahead and contribute your response in the Zoom chat. Looking at this main inquiry, which corner do you think is going to be the most important? If we're looking at colonial leaders. Kamaya, can you unmute and share why you picked POV?
I picked POV because it's gonna be different colonial leaders, so it'll show their side and the reason why they provided that solution.
Beautiful. Yes, that is what's going to be the most important. So as we are going through our documents, make sure you are taking specifically thinking about your POV corners. I am going to be asking you to share your POV annotations in the chat every couple of minutes. You are going to have 13 minutes to annotate these three documents. So 13 minutes to annotate these three documents. I will be asking you to chat out your POV corner. Actually, I'm gonna make that 12. 12 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and get started. We should all be annotating document 1. You have 9.5 minutes left. Please chat out your POV corner for document 1. Please chat out your POV corner to document 1. You can either chat it to everybody or to me privately. Okay, I'm going to pause this real quick. Please pause your annotations and track Zoom. I'm looking at our POV annotations and I see a lot of just George Washington. Please make sure you are including a bias or anything in addition to who he is. We need to be doing this in all of our POV corners. So take 15 seconds, revise your POV corner and include some descriptors of who he is and how that might influence the way that he is writing this document. Please chat and submit your revised POV. Thank you, Arabia. I just got yours. Thank you, Takia. I got yours. Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you, Skyan. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Jalasia. Awesome. Okay, looks like we are fixing that. So let's make sure that we continue to do that for the rest of the documents. You have 8.5 minutes. You should be transitioning to document 2 in the next minute to keep up with pacing. So time is starting back up. Go ahead and go back to your annotations. 6.5 minutes left. You should be on document 2. Please skip to document 2 if you have not gotten there yet. Please chat out your POV corner for document 2. Your POV corner for document 2. Beautiful, Skyan. Thank you, Mahmoud. I got yours. Great job, Shakim. Great job, Kamaya. I'm still waiting on more POV corners for document 2. Great, thank you for those. Four and a half minutes left. Four minutes left. Skip down to document 3 if you have not done so. Skip to document 3 if you have not gotten there yet. Thank you, Giovanni and Arabia. I just got yours. Again, we are skipping to document 3 if we have not gotten there yet. 2.5 minutes left. Please chat out your POV corner for document 3. Again, your POV corner for document 3. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Kamaya. Thank you, Shakeem. Thank you, Takia. Thank you, Caleb. I just got yours. Thank you, Giovanni, Mahmoud, Skyen. 90 seconds left to finish up your annotations. Thank you, Arabia. Twenty more seconds. Great, that is time. In the chat, I just posted our main inquiry. How did colonial leaders respond to Shays' rebellion, and why did their responses differ? You are going to take 2 minutes to draft your response in the Zoom chat. Do not hit submit until I say to. You're going to take the full 2 minutes to draft your response to this question. Again, how did colonial leaders respond to Shays' rebellion, and why did their responses differ? 2 minutes to draft your response in the Zoom chat. Begin. One more minute. Remember, do not hit submit. 15 seconds to finish up. Please hit submit now. Thank you, Kamaya, Kayla, Leah, Shakeem. Thank you, Takia. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Arabia. Even if it's the middle of the sentence, go ahead and hit submit so I can see where you're at. You're now going to take another 2 minutes in the Nearpod to revise this response. 2 minutes in the Nearpod to revise this response. Go ahead and get started. Thirty more seconds to revise your answer in the Nearpod. As a reminder, your participation in Nearpod and Zoom is affecting your Zoom participation grade. Please hit submit on your responses in the Nearpod. Thank you. I have 32% of the responses in the Nearpod. Please hit submit if you have not already. Great job today, you guys. So let's answer this question. How did colonial leaders respond to Shays' rebellion, and why did their responses differ? Can I hear from Kamaya, and then Kayla, and finishing up with Arabia? So Kamaya, Kayla, Arabia.
You're reading the one off Nearpod, right?
Yes.
Okay. I said, although some may argue that Shays' rebellion was uncalled for, as the federal government accounted for the opinion of all people as a whole, and people acquired the power rather than having decisions be completely made for them. Ultimately, anti-federalists believed the federal government to be foolish in its thinking, as it couldn't be that perfect to account for all desires.
Mm-hmm. And can you build on that, Kayla?
I don't know if mine is right. I can't. Oh, okay. I put some colonial leaders felt as if it was a problem that was going to solve itself, but others were worried because of the lost trust in other states. The responses also differed because of the tax rate. Some felt that was no.
Mm-hmm. And Arabia, can you close us out?
Do you want me to read what I said?
Yes, you can.
I said, since George Washington was a general and a statesman, it makes sense that keeping a calm government and reducing crisis within the states was important to him. And I said, since John Jay was a statesman, patriot, diplomat, founding father, and negotiator, it makes sense that the efficiency in the government was very important to him. And since John Thomas Jefferson was a founding father, slave owner, lawyer, and philosopher, it makes sense that he is against anarchy and questions how the country existed a century and a half without a rebellion. Their responses differ because they have different historical backgrounds and see each problem a different way.
Great, thank you. So now I'm going to have somebody revoice and just have them tell me what they're hearing in the responses. Leah, can you please revoice what you're hearing?
Honestly, I really don't know because I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Mahmoud, can you revoice what you've heard Kamaya, Kayla, and Arabia say? Mahmoud, can you unmute and revoice what you've heard people say? Okay, I'll chat you and figure out what's going on. Tisa, can you please revoice what you've heard everybody say? Or the ideas that you've heard? Okay. Alexis, can you please revoice or just echo what you've heard your classmates say? Alexis, can you unmute and share? Okay. As a reminder that you guys need to be listening to what everybody says and adding your own thoughts during discourse. Discourse is going to become a more important part of this class. And yeah, just make sure you're paying attention and ready to contribute. So we are going to transition to the exit ticket, which is a Google form in today's assignment. Once I see that you have submitted a response, you may go. Shakeem, you may go. Great job, Giovanni. You may go. Arabia, you may go. Kayla, you may go. Eddie and Mahmoud, you may go.